coach upward basketball. I'm gonna tell you something.
Right.
If I was a coach, I would get annoyed with that too.
Yeah, but isn't that just part of it? You know, you get an hour a week.
I guess it is.
I bet the coaches hate the shows. The fact that they have to give up an hour a week just to do. Why didn't you play this kid? What did you do? Why did he? Why are you practicing this? What happened there?
Well, I'm sure that's true, but to me, it's just part of being a coach. And if you're going to do it, don't just take the softball questions that you clearly can just select off email or Twitter. But let somebody get on there and ask you the questions. You know, Nikki, you're talking about Wake Forest. You're a fan. Go ahead.
I am. I'm 47. I've been pulling for Wake Forest since I was about 7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And this is nothing personally against Bzdelik. I think as a person, he's a great person, but as a coach, he just sucks.
Well, he got criticized. Ron Wellman, who's the athletic director there,
we're going to need you to submit your question
in writing, please. We're not going to make this a forum for why Bzdelik sucks.
We could go on for hours about that. But I think that Wellman is getting a lot of criticism, too, because he hired Bzdelik. You know, Bzdelik never had a winning record except for 1 year anywhere else.
And remember, apparently they were friends, too.
That's the thing.
And that was the first big thing, because he came from, Colorado, where he did not have a winning record there, and then it came out that they were friends and this and this.
Right. Nikki, how do you feel about them no longer taking live phone calls on their radio show?
Well, that would kind of be like y'all just taking questions off of the internet and picking the ones you want.
Yeah, to me, it just guts the show. Why even do it? You know, what's the point? Thanks, Nikki. I appreciate it. I mean, I think the interaction between the coach and the caller is the whole point of those shows, of the radio
I don't
shows.
listen. I mean, you do. To me, it sounds like they're just tired of the same, maybe it's the same people, the same questions, you know, and maybe you get more variety this way, I get it.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I think they don't want to be criticized. I think that's the whole reason for it, and they don't want to hear that when they're on those shows. Now, moving the show along is one thing I can say, because sometimes they do ramble. Mm-hmm. But you got, they should have call screeners to prep the caller and say, make sure you just get right to your question or
stay
whatever.
On topic.
Stay on topic and go for it, because we have a limited time here. But those coaches shows, if you're not going to take the live call in, then I wouldn't even do the show. There's no point, because that's what the show is.
According to Wellman, their athletic director at Wake Forest, he said more and more schools are eliminating the call in because the callers tend to get on and rather than asking a question, they preach. And he said, this is our show. It's our opportunity to talk about Wake Forest basketball and the direction we're going. If you want to ask a question, we'll respond to your question.
Mm-hmm. But you can't ask the question anymore. You can't get on and ask it.
Well, you have to email it.
Right, and then they choose what they want. That's the whole problem.
Okay.
Yesterday, I mean, this might make me sound like a loser, lonely lady, but I like Bravo and their reality shows, and the vice president of broadcasting has a late-night talk show called Watch What Happens Live. And it's a very interactive show, but they ended up running out of time on the show with the celebrities, so he records himself answering his own emails. Mm-hmm. He answers every one of them, even the ones that aren't fun. Yeah. So it doesn't have to always be just the ones you pick. Sometimes he'll take one, who's your least favorite guest, and, so it doesn't always have to be edited. They might take some of them more.
Oh, they won't. I mean, that's the whole. Everybody. I've read this on a lot of online stuff, and they might. But
do you think no coaches get any criticism? It's just, hey, how great are the teams this year?
I think they'll pick the questions that they want to answer, and I think if somebody is really critical of Bzdelik, they'll just put it in another pile. Yeah, and I think that. But if you call up, then they have to. You're on the spot.
You don't have to get through.
Well, I know, but if you get through, you get your question, you can, work your way around the screener and get your question done. Daryl, you're talking about Wake Forest and Coach Bzdelik. Go ahead.
Yeah, guys, how y'all doing this morning?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a graduate of Wake. And the problem with Bzdelik and Wellman is that nobody seems to want to step up and take any criticism or take any of the blame for the show that's going on over there right now. And it's just ridiculous. For instance, Bzdelik said that one of the reasons they lost to Nebraska was because it was on a Tuesday, and that's the toughest academic day at Wake Forest. And it just makes no sense.
Right. Do you ever listen to the radio show?
What's that?
Do you ever listen to their coach's radio show?
I listened to it last week, and there were two callers that were somewhat contentious, but it wasn't anything out of bounds. It was not anything that was just blatantly, just making fun of the guy. They were just asking questions that have needed to be asked in the media for the last 3 years, and he gave very terse answers and just gave no good answers at all, and just said, "All right, buddy, thanks, have a good day." It was ridiculous.
So you disagree with their decision to get rid of the question? All right, buddy, thanks, have a good day.
If I'm not mistaken, this is the last year of his contract too.
I think he'll be fired, and I think Wellman will. He might not be fired. I don't know his deal over there, but I think Bzdelik will be gone because I think this is his year to make it.
And not to keep harping on these coaches shows here too, and because I don't listen. Do you think how many times do you think a caller has come up with the question that a coach has not been asked before by the media? Because everybody nowadays with a computer is a reporter or a sports journalist or a blogger. That's what I'm saying. They're not breaking any new ground. No one ever says, unless a coach like Roy Williams did a few years ago went off the rails in his coaching show. Nothing ever of substance ever occurs on these shows. It's simply just for the sponsors, right?
I don't know about that. I don't know. I think a reporter asks questions about the game and all that, and I think a caller might ask Bzdelik, how'd you get this job? Is it because you're friends with Ron Wellman? And then I think he's on the spot, and he doesn't want to answer that question. You had a losing record before you came here. How did you possibly get this job? And I think he's put off by that.
But you don't think that was asked of Wellman and Bzdelik when he arrived here?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't. I think they kind of gloss over that, and I think the callers ask the questions they want to know about. And
so that hasn't been addressed in the public?
I don't think so. No, I don't, not that I've seen anyway. You hear that.
Every company has their PR, and not everything is for public consumption. They can say, look, we made a decision based on the best interest of Wake Forest.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's what they said when they hired him.
Bzdelik, the other guy, Gaudio, I saw this morning. I didn't realize he made the NCAA tournament 3 years in a row. All 3 years he was there, and then was let go. Remember, there was an uproar about that when it happened.
Sure.
And Bzdelik just hasn't done anything since. Mark, you're talking about coaches shows now. Some of them are going away from taking live callers. Go ahead.
Well, I think that you're missing a little bit of the point. The point is not to get the hard-hitting questions from the fans. The point of these shows funded by the team getting sponsors is to increase team support, sales, ticket sales, buying of Wake Forest paraphernalia, and if everybody's jumping on a bandwagon against the coach, I don't think that's helping it.
So they want to change it so they can keep you're probably right. I'm sure that's the reason they're doing it, but I think that just kind of guts the show. Thank you, Mark. I'm sure you're right. Danny, you wanted to comment on the Wake Forest Coaches Show. Good morning.
Am I on the air?
You are on the air, yes.
You want to be so critical. I want to tell us some things about your show.
Tweet us.
This show?
Write us. Email us.
We're out of time.
We're out of time.
I have a podcast. I know what I'm talking about.
What were you trying to say? Anything of substance?
All I have to say is fire the fat ones.
We're no longer taking live calls. Live calls are over.
Never.
We're not going to get those anymore. They'll all be emailed now. 9:36 on Rock 92. Finish up.